Dear students, welcome to Computer Programming Lab. Today we are going to discuss about what is programming and try to understand its usage and many other related terms. We will also discuss about the importance of programming language, role of computer architecture in programming. So our first topic is what is programming? First, we'll try to understand what is a programming in a layman terms. Uh, let's see. Programming is a way to instruct the computer to perform various tasks. Now, what's the meaning of these terms here? So let's try to decipher these terms. Instruct the computer implies computer is waiting for an instruction from a user, and based on the instruction computer performs the requested task. Now question is that what do you understand by instruct the computer? What do you understand by instruct the computer and perform various tasks? So here you can assume computer is waiting for an instruction from the user. As soon as instruction is provided, computer performs the task based on that particular instruction. So is this confusing? So let's try. So if this is confusing you, let us understand the definition deeply. The first term, instruct the computer. This basically means that you provide the computer a set of instructions that are written in a language that the computer can understand. The instruction could be of various types. For example, adding two numbers, finding the largest number in the given set, or it can be rounding off our numbers. So I need something for communication with a computer, just like we humans can understand a few languages. For example, we can understand English, Hindi, Urdu, and some other language. So is the case with computers. Computer understand instructions that are written in a specific syntactical form called a programming language. So programming language is acting as a intermediate medium between humans and computers. So we are able to understand what we are writing, and computers are able to understand the instructions that are provided through a program from the user. So this will be helpful in communicating with computers. Now we have already seen a programming language is required to communicate instruction to the computers. Now we are going to see the definition of a programming language. A programming language can be understood as an abstraction of a computer system which is based on certain processing model. So programming language is utilizing computer system. So it is basically an abstraction of a computer system. What is in a system that will be utilized by a programming language which is based on certain processing model. So computer system is basically a processing model, and types of different computer will having a different processing model. So here we are going to study a type of a model that is suitable for C programming language here. So let's try to see a relationship between computer and its block diagram here. So when we say a computer, it consists of a monitor, CPU, and keyboard and mouse. So this is represented in a block diagram. So here if you see, you have a central processing unit, that is a CPU, which in turn consists of a control unit and arithmetic and logic unit. You have a RAM. RAM is basically known as a primary storage. You have a hard disk. This is known as a secondary storage. So again, we have a one more component, that is a storage unit. And you have input devices and output devices. So you have an input unit and an output unit. So computer will get data from our input devices. Computer will present data through an output device. Now if you see primary storage, the purpose of primary storage is to store your program and data associated with the program. Now purpose of a central processing unit. So in this case, the first part is CU unit coordinates the components sequentially following the program instruction. So what is written here, based on those instructions, CPU will coordinate the activity of a computer. Now another unit, that is arithmetic and logic unit, it performs the calculation. So when like a computer, that's like a calculator perform certain operation. So here we require certain operation. So these operations are basically performed by arithmetic and logical unit. Now one more thing that we have to discuss here, you can see a dotted line. Dotted line means it's a control flow, means how and when input has to be taken, when output has to be generated, and when data has to be moved from the primary storage to a secondary storage, or from a primary storage to a arithmetic logical unit. So this is basically a control information. Actual movement of data is basically a data flow. So when you press something from a keyboard, it's an input, and control and unit allows input. So this input moves to a primary storage. If a control unit wants to move the input from a primary storage to a central processing unit, it again generates an instruction, and based on this instruction, data will move from primary storage to a control unit. So here two different types of a flow: control unit and a control flow and a data flow. The block diagram that we have seen in the last slide is basically based on a von Neumann model. So this model was invented by John von Neumann in 1945, and this model is influenced by Alan Turing's Turing machine. So we are not going to discuss about the Turing machine here, but just for your information, this is a model, and computer is based on a model of a Turing machine. You can see the similarities between this diagram and the previous one, and the only difference is we haven't shown a control flow in this diagram. Now we will try to see how processing is done by computer. So we have seen a model is basically von Neumann based model. So von Neumann architecture means data and instructions can be stored in main memory. So we can see, let's take, this is my main memory and this is my program that is residing in a main memory. Now the processing cycle has three steps: fetch the next instruction from memory, decode the instruction, and last one, execute the instruction. So our program sequence of instructions. So these are the sequence of instructions that are there already in a memory. From this we will retrieve instruction one by one. So when we say retrieve, we going to fetch an instruction from main memory and bring into a control unit. Then we will be decoding the instruction, what is the purpose of instruction, how many variables it requires, and what to do. So that is basically decoding the instruction, and after decoding we will be executing the instruction. So execution will be done. If execution require some input data, this input data will be retrieved and then execution will be done. So input data is not necessary in each and every step. That is why we are going to say this cycle is basically fetch, decode and execute cycle, and this is a continuous cycle. Means is from the first instruction it will move on to second instruction and so on up to the end. So it will be executing a program instruction by instruction till the end of the program. So computer is basically fetch, decode and execute cycle. So we will try to see different types of programming languages. Programming languages can be classified based on two different parameters, means amount of time taken by program to execute or the ease of writing a program in a given programming language. So based on these two parameters, the languages can be classified as low level programming language, middle level programming language or a high level programming language. Low level programming language can further be divided into a machine language and an assembly language. Middle level programming language, the best example is a C programming language, and this course is about C programming language and we will discuss it detail when we're discussing about the C programming language. High level programming language are those languages in which it is easier to write a program. COBOL, Fortran, Pascal, C Sharp are the example of a high level programming language. Now let's try to discuss about what is a low level programming language. Now, low level programming. Initially, computers were hardwired or softwired and then later programmed using binary code that represented control sequence fed to the computer CPU. So we are talking about the time when the computers were created. So this was difficult and error prone, means you have to manually set a wire or you have to write code in a binary. So programs were written in binary are said to be written in machine code or instruction set provided by the developer of a computer, which is very low level programming paradigm. Hardwired, softwired and binary programming are considered first generation languages. Now this is the example of a low level program. So go back to von Neumann architecture. Von Neumann architecture says program and data reside in main memory. So this is my main memory and my program is in a memory. Next, processing by a computer is basically fetch, decode and execute cycle. So all instructions will be fetched from the memory, decoded by a CPU and executed by ALU. So if you see, these are program instructions written in binary. What they are doing, this can only be told by an expert who is aware of machine instructions or instructions that are provided by the developer of a computer. So they are difficult to read, difficult to write, but they are faster to execute. So instructions are basically written in binary and these instructions are fetched one by one by CPU, decoded and executed. So this way the program will be executing in case of a low level programming language. Another example of a low level programming is a assembly language program. So let's try to see a assembly language code here. So here, instead of binary, symbolic names are used. So you will be writing code using those names. You will not be writing in binary. Let's take an example here, adding two number. So what we do, we load number. Two numbers are retrieved from a memory. The numbers are added and the result is stored. So if you read the instruction, from the instruction you come to know what they are actually doing it. So here, instead of binary codes, mnemonics are used, they are more readable, but in this case you require another piece of software to convert this code into a machine language code. So this piece of a software is basically known as a assembler. Assembler convert this code into a machine language code, and assembly language is basically known as a second generation programming language. When we say a machine language, it's a first generation. Assembly language is a second generation programming language. Now we are going to discuss about middle level language. As the name suggests, the middle level language lies in between the low level and a high level language. So in the beginning I told you languages are classified based on execution time, time to execute a program, or ease of writing a program in a given language. So when you're talking about execution time, it's more efficient in comparison to a higher level language. When talking about the writability of a program, it's more easy to write a program in a middle level language in comparison to a low level language. So C is an example of a middle level language. Now with this language you can be writing program that can be used for system programming, or it can be used for writing application programs. Now what is a system programs? The programs such as operating system, compiler, assembler, linker, loader, those programs that are required for proper working of a system or utilizing the resources of a computer are known as system programs. And application programs are those programs that are required by user to do some useful work. For example, let's take an office suite. You have a Word, Excel, Access, and many more. So they are required by user for writing a letter, making a spreadsheet, creating a database, writing an HTML page. So these are known as application programming. The processors of a CPU does not directly execute source code of a middle level language. So here means you write a program in C. This C program is converted into a machine language by another piece of a code. This is known as compiler. So compiler converts C program into a machine language code, and this machine language code is further executed. So you need an intermediate software for converting into a machine language. Now let us try to see relative position of programming languages. So at one end we have a computer, at the another end we are having a human being. So human being have to interact with hardware. So for this we will be requiring programming languages. So types of programming languages I have already told you is based on two different criteria: execution time and ease of writing a program. So we've already seen low level program are faster in execution and they are closer to hardware. Higher level languages are closer to human languages. A code written in a higher level languages are easy to understand just by seeing it. A code written in a low level languages are basically very difficult to get the meaning of those code, and you find in the middle is a middle level language which is overlapping with a low level and with a high level and even with a very high level language. Fine. So means if you see from moving from this direction, you are moving away from hardware. If you move from a right to left, you are moving away from human language. A language at these positions are closer to human. A language is at this position are much closer to hardware. So that is why initially the hardware instructions are there. Instructions are written in binary low level. Further improvement assembly language. Then you have a C language that is in between, and then you have a high level language that is closer to human languages, means easier to read and write but slower to execute. Now we'll try to see certain features of a programming languages. If you are unable to understand terms, don't worry about it. We are going to discuss these terms later also when we're discussing about the programming language, C programming language in detail. So when we're talking about the features of C language, the first is it's fast and efficient. Middle level, so it's faster execution and it's efficient. You have a rich library of a function, so most of the things are already written and they are provided as a library function, so you have certain components, then you don't have to write it but you have to use it. The C language is simple, it is extensible. So what is the meaning of extensible? Means you can create your own data types. What is a data type, how it's created, we will discuss when we're talking about a structure and other construct in a C programming language. It is middle level, it is having pointers, it's a very powerful concepts, and if you master pointers you will be able to do anything on a system. When we're talking about other features of a C programming languages, it is portable. So a program written on one system, it can be moved on to another system, compiled and executable. The language is modularity. This is helpful in designing and writing large program. C for programming language is also a structured programming languages. What is a structured and what is useful of this? We will discuss later. It support recursion, so you have a recursive function in mathematics, and this recursive function can be easily implemented in C programming languages. You have a variety of data types and a powerful operator, so these things are inbuilt and this will helpful in writing an efficient code. And next thing is it is extensible and it is also easy to extend, so means they are construct, so through this you may define a new data type and operation on those data type. High level language, high level languages are coder friendly because these languages are closer to human languages. That is why it is easy to code, debug and maintain in a high level language. In a software industry, real-time problems are solved using high-level languages. These languages do not interact directly with the hardware. High-level languages must be processed with the help of compiler or interpreter before the code execution. Now, these languages are machine independent, means you are writing a code without seeing what is an underlying machine. These codes are portable from one machine to another. So this slide is about a difference between the low level and high level programming languages. So low level programming language are better in terms of efficiency. So they utilize computer architecture more heavily. High level languages are user friendly, easy to write, but they take more time for processing. So they are slower in they are a bit slower and they are not suitable for time critical system.